the love of nature. I have a huge love for nature, and I really struggled to kind of find something that I thought was worth reading. So maybe next time that I come here, I'll have to write something on my own that encapsulates that. Yeah, I'll get into Alan Watts here. This one's called The Spectrum of Love. Now, to trust oneself to be capable of love or to bring up love, in other words, to function in a sociable way and in a creative way, is to take a risk, a gamble. You may not come through with it. In the same way, when you fall in love with somebody else or form an association with someone else and you trust them, they may, as a matter of fact, not fulfill your expectations, but that risk has to be taken. The alternative to not taking that risk is much worse than trusting and being deceived. When you say, "I will not trust other people, and I will not trust myself," what course remains? You have to resort to force. You have to employ stacks of policemen to protect you, and you have to hold a club over yourself all the time and say, "No, no. My nature is wayward, animal, perverse, fallen, grounded in sin." What happens then when you refuse to take that gamble of trusting yourself to be capable of love? You become, if you will excuse this extremely graphic but nevertheless relevant simile, like a person who cannot trust himself to have bowel movements. Many children learn this from parents who do not trust them, and they think they ought to have these movements in rhythm with the clock, which is a different kind of rhythm from that of an organism. People who cannot trust themselves to do even this take laxatives endlessly, and as a result of being which, their whole system gets fouled up. Exactly the same thing happens with people who can't trust themselves to go to sleep. They have to take all kinds of pills, and also with people who can't trust themselves to love. And they have to take all sorts of artificial and surgical measures to produce the effect of love for saving face. They become progressively more incapable of loving at all, and they create turmoil and misunderstanding and chaos in themselves and others and society. In other words, to live and to love, you have to take risks. There will be disappointments and failures and disasters as a result of taking these risks, but in the long run, it'll work out. My point is that if you don't take these risks, the results will be much worse than any imaginable kind of anarchy. In tying up love in knots, or becoming incapable of it, you destroy this energy. When you won't love or won't let love out, it emerges anyway in the form of self-destruction. The alternative to self-love, in other words, is self-destruction. Because you won't take the risk of loving yourself properly, you will be compelled instead to destroy yourself. So which would you rather have? Would you rather have the human race, which is always very well self-controlled and sometimes run amok a little bit, but on the whole continues to exist with a good deal of honesty and delight when delight is available? Or would you rather have the whole human race blown to pieces and cleaned off the planet, reducing the whole thing to a nice sterile rock with no dirty disease on it called life? The essential point to consider is love as a spectrum. There is not, as it were, just nice love and nasty love, spiritual love and maternal love, mature affection, and on one hand, and infatuation on the other. These are all forms of the same energy, and you have to be able to take it and let it grow where you find it. When you find only one of these forms existing, if at least you will water it, the rest will bloom as well. But the effect prerequisite from the beginning is to let it have its own way.